Hello and welcome to Drier Days Art Studio. I'm Catherine and I'm so happy to have you here. In my video today, I will be working on this 5-piece jewelry box set that I got off of Amazon. And I decided to do a beach theme over each of them using pink sand. I'm really excited about these. It was my first time doing jewelry boxes, and as some of you may know, I have done credit card cases before on stainless steel cases, and this was my first time with these wooden boxes. They came all inside each other, sort of like Russian dolls. As you can see here, just pull one out, shut it, open the next one, and the next size smaller is inside. These are raw wood, so they were unfinished, a little scratchy. I needed to sand them a little bit. And there are 5 boxes total. And the latches are pretty nice, very nice and functional. And here they all are. This video won't be too long. I'm going to show you how I made the 2 largest boxes, and I will have bonus content over on my Patreon for my patrons of the $5 tier and up. You can find all the information about how to become a patron in the description below. I do take PayPal donations as well, and depending on the amount of the PayPal donation, I will send you some bonus content as well that I share with my patrons. So up to you. I appreciate any and all donations. Thank you so much for the support out there. It's much appreciated. So as you can see, I just went around and taped the entire underneath and sides of these boxes that I don't want any resin on. And I did 2 coats of white gesso on every box and then sanded in between the layers and doing one final sanding here. Any of the tools and products that you see me using in this video, you can find down in the description. If you've watched any of my other episodes or videos, you know that I do like to paint the background colors first. Resin can be transparent, and I like to have that backdrop. And it also kind of gives me a nice guide to where I want to lay my colored resin or lay in my sand. And just work on that until I feel like each one is done. All the products that you see up there are what I will be using in these 2 pieces. I am going to use Stone Coat art resin for my base. I will use Pro Marine resin when it's time to do my waves. Using a light pink sand that I found on Amazon, I wanted to make each of the beaches look a little bit different on these, and so I did use a teeny bit of a different product for each one. Some of the other products that I'm using for the ocean colors are Electric Blue and Blue Sapphire by Resin Expressions. Really, really nice pigment pastes and powders, mica pigments. And I'm also going to be using Baby Pink Pigment by Just For You Online UK, as well as some White Ignition Dust by Just For You Online UK, part of their Rebel line. And those items I do sell in my online store, www.drierdaysartstudio.com. I'm so proud to be your USA stockist for Just For You Online UK products. If you haven't seen their glitters or their silicone molds, check out any of my other videos. I did just do a geode silicone mold video. So much fun to use those little geode molds. They're so cute, and they make really, really pretty coasters. I'll link that in the description, and also if you hit the lowercase I in the upper right hand corner, you'll be taken to that video. This is that Blue Sapphire by Resin Expressions. It's one of my favorite colors by them. And I'm trying to, with these boxes, not put obviously a barrier of tape around the edges to create that dam. I wanted them to flow over naturally, but I'm also trying to just go right to that edge with the resin so that I don't have a ton of mess underneath there. I didn't want to lose too much of it. But sometimes I find if I put that dam up with the tape, my colors can kind of mix together in a way that I don't like. And I didn't want that to happen here. I wanted things to flow really smoothly as you would see in nature, as you would see with waves. I didn't want them kind of getting all on top of each other. And I lay my colors down where I want them, and I will end up coming in at the end here. I'll fast forward a bit and you'll see me just come in with my gloved hand and mesh those colors together to get a really nice blend. This is the Cambridge Blue by Resin Expressions, and you can find all of those products at Laura's Art Corner. The link to her store is also in the video description. Really pretty metallic blue, and that is a mica pigment powder. And you only need a little bit with your pigments and pastes, only about no more than a 10% ratio to your resin. And this is the Blue Pigment by Just For You Online UK. You can find that in my store as well. Beautiful color, a really nice light blue. And I was pretty familiar with this color because this is part of the resin starter kit that I use in my e-course that I teamed up with Just For You Online UK to do. There will be a link as well in the video description for that e-course. And that is for the resin beginner. So if you're just starting out in resin or you haven't even started at all, I really recommend taking my course. I lay out all the tools you'll need, resin safety, how to mix your resin, and we do create a beautiful piece of artwork. And I go into detailing work for after your piece is cured, just so many things in there that I go over. So I really hope you can check it out. Also, all of my students that take the e-course will also get a coupon code for 20% off my entire store at www.dryerdaysartstudio.com. And this is the Electric Blue by Resin Expressions, also available at Laura's Art Corner if you're in the United States. And if you're not, you can look up Resin Expressions online, and you can also look up Just For You Online UK online if you're not in the US. Otherwise, you can find this stuff from Laura and I. This is the beautiful Azure Turquoise glitter from Just For You Online UK. Beautiful, beautiful. And I will also use their iridescent chunky glitter here in a moment. And again, both of these are part of that resin starter kit that I use in my e-course. Just beautiful glitters. This is the iridescent chunky glitter right here. And just filling in the rest of the blank spots with clear resin. You can see as I lay that on top, the effects that it's giving to that pigmented resin. It's very pretty. And now just using a little bit of that baby pink, coming in between where I had laid the darker pink sand down. The baby pink pigment by Just For You Online UK is one of my favorite pigments. It's a really nice muted pink with beautiful shimmer, adds just enough. And you can find this in my store as well. I like to use my heat gun to get some effects and move the resin around. I will use my blowtorch to pop any remaining bubbles. I wanted to get these blues to move around and mix in and combine with each other a little bit. And they weren't quite doing as much as I would like, so as I mentioned, I will come in with my finger and do some adjustments on my own. I do like that heat gun though, and that is listed in my Amazon store if you're looking for a good heat gun. It has 2 different heat settings and it has a self-cooling mechanism, which I really appreciate. Few final touches just to make sure that my sand went around that lip of the edge before I call it a night. And this is the next day. I gave it overnight. I did that first part pretty late. It was probably about 10 or 11, and this is the next morning. Everything is still taped up. You can see how the resin kind of moved around and blended together. I do go into more depth of how I do my waves in a bonus video on my Patreon, so if you're curious to see how I personally do my waves, you can check that out. It will not be in the bonus content for this video. I did it in a previous video for my Bahamas themed pieces. As you probably noticed in the beginning, these boxes were heavily taped. So it was a process pulling the tape off. I did wait probably about 18 to 20 hours after I did the final wave layer. I did 3 layers of the white waves on this one and 2 on that smaller one. And I encourage you to take your time when you're peeling your tape off, because I did get a little bit of resin lift on some areas of these. Just be very careful when you're pulling these off, as you don't pull anything off that you didn't want to pull off. This was my very first time ordering these boxes and trying this out. I definitely learned a lot. There's a lot that I would do differently next time. Some of that I share in my Patreon. Some of it I think I want to save for another video, because I definitely want to do something like this again. They were a lot of fun. My daughters are super excited about these. I may try to sell them, but if I don't, I think my daughters would be keen to keep them. I think these turned out just lovely. I love doing the beach pours so much. I don't get to do them nearly enough. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Again, if you'd like to check out my Patreon, all that information is below, as well as info on my e-course and PayPal and such. Any products and tools that you might want to use are in the video's description too. I thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will show you each of the boxes here up close. I did do some finishing work on the inside and around the edges besides the resin. You can catch that over on my Patreon, everything that I did. If you'd like to come check me out on Instagram, I'm over there at Dryer Days. I also have a Facebook group, Dryer Days Resin and Fluid Art Group, if you want to come share your work with us. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, everybody, keep on pouring.